2, 1.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Grok Talk, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GraniteGrok.com. We are your feared extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone-stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com.
Grok Talk.
I kind of like it when I walk into a Friday and I only have 2 guests booked, and before the show's over, all the segments are filled. That's the best. Welcome back to Grok Talk. I'm Steve McDonald here with Max Abramson, Skip Murphy on my left, Michael, way at the end of the table down there, Mr. Rogers, eating his apple. And on the phone we have Kevin Bloom. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Steve.
How you doing?
Just great. I'm down at the gun show in Concord at the Everett Arena right now, which is going to be going on today and tomorrow. So I'm sure many of your listeners are already here.
Some of them probably are, yes. And
there is so much going on this weekend. There's things competing for their attention all weekend long.
All right, so we wanted to I'm part of this Facebook IM thing and talking about SB30, and I'll be sitting there next to my laptop, and I'll start hearing my phone go ping, ping, ping as messages start pouring in. You sent me some information. I didn't have time to go over it, so let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I don't know how far you've gotten with Max, or if he
we haven't touched it yet. We haven't had a chance.
Oh,
so.
Good. It's like virgin turf.
But Max is sitting right next to me, so.
Yeah, and SB30. Hi, Max.
How are you doing?
Is coming up on Tuesday for a hearing, and it's going to be in Reps Hall at 1 o'clock. And the local paper up north is promoting it heavily, and they're asking all their supporters to show up and demand that the state finance this project. And so we need people, your listeners, to show up and say, no, you shouldn't steal money from me for this boondoggle, and if it's worth doing by the private sector. Now, Republicans have said for some time that it's not really fair to steal money from the rich and give it to the poor, but it's a pretty tough angle to argue you should steal from the poor and give it to one rich guy.
Now, have you read the amended version? The amended version is very different.
I indeed have read the latest amendment that I have that specifically sets out, and this bill has gone through so many different changes. Even in the Senate, when it came out, it was originally set up as a study committee. So, let's not worry about that. Then, the last second on the floor, Senator Forrester put in a floor amendment that said, we're going to give the county the authority to tax set up tax districts in any unincorporated areas. So if you're not in a city, and you're wondering about how your taxes are going to be figured out, that's going to be done by your county, which previously the counties have not had an awful lot to do with pretty much anything.
Which is a
so
good
you
thing.
might not like that. But now that one got, they sent it to the House that way, and of course there was no public hearing on the floor amendment, and then it went to the House, and then they decided, we're going to change it, and we'll make it do everything we want it to do, because the floor amendment basically just said that. It said that counties can set up and tax unincorporated areas. Now then it moved on to the House, and they said, well, we're going to move it out of the committee. They vacated it last week in session and moved it to the Finance Committee. And that sort of makes sense because, in a way, they're basically saying that we're putting the full faith and credit of the taxpayers of New Hampshire behind this thing. And you're on the hook for $28 million. And they're not even going to, first of all, they're not going to let you stay free there for that at the Balsams. And we are talking about the Balsams bailout. You're not going to get any free nights just because you help pay for it. And they're not even going to take you out for dinner or give you a little kiss first, you know. It's straight to the, we're going to rob you. So,
not even a hot dog.
No, and there's a lot of things about, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 15,000 gallons of water a day out of the river, and we're going to, there are many, many objections to this, and I'm just to summarize them. Well, I was thinking we could go to the Constitution and say, well, you know, the New Hampshire Constitution says that it's set up for the people of New Hampshire and not for any one man or any collection or family of people.
Article 10.
And it does say that, so yeah.
It's
Isn't that
a clear
Article 10?
violation. Then we could go to the Word of God and say, thou shalt not steal. And I think that one fits right in. And we could have put that one first, but it doesn't really matter because I think that some of the legislators will ignore both of those things. And let's move straight into it's a dumb idea. The reason that the place is vacant goes way back many years. There has been a lawsuit that said essentially that the owners sold it to somebody who made no down payment at all. It was a secret deal, and I think you have some of that stuff. I am not in front of it. I'm sitting out on a rock next to the river at this point in time, but you probably have the details of the lawsuit there if you're in front of you. And that alleged that this deal was put through the connivance of the Attorney General at the time, I believe it was 2012, and that was done at Thanksgiving. And it was done in secret. If anybody had been allowed to take a look at this, they would have said, this is nuts. I mean, how do you buy a supposed property that's supposed to be worth $140, $150 million, and you do it with nobody down? That's a pretty good deal to pull off, and you have to be pretty well connected. Now, to add insult to injury, not only are we going to approve this, but then we're going to ask the New Hampshire taxpayers to pay for it. How much worse can we get? And if you look at the character of the people that are doing this, that are on the benefit of this deal, just Google them. You don't have to take my word for any of this. Google them, and you can see that maybe you would decide to loan this guy $100. I don't think I would.
Well,
I just want people to make their own decision.
Yeah, and those
okay.
names,
And by the way, this place supposedly has a toxic latex refuse waste dump in one corner.
Oh, really?
And the town doesn't want them to sever that from the property in case it becomes a permanently abandoned waste dump.
Ah, yes. Well,
and
the story gets better and better.
And that's compromising their ability to raise money. Our Bulldog reporter, Kimberly, is all over this. In fact, she's finding so much stuff, she's barely begun to publish because there's so much more research to do.
Exactly. It gets, the more you peel this onion,
the more your eyes
like
water.
the more layers you get. Yeah, the more you start to cry. And you start crying right away.
And it's the taxpayer's eyes that will water. And as you say, you don't even get a free night or a free bag of chips when you go to visit.
Right.
Yep.
And another commentator who lives in the area said the reason for that, one of the other reasons that it's deserted, it's hard to get to, and he was saying to get there you have to fly into the Berlin airport, and then it's a 60-minute drive from the airport, and most people can't make it to the small airport there. So it's a 3-hour drive through 2-lane roads with a lot of frost heaves. It's not like this place is easy to get to.
So this is Skip, Kevin. So this Les Otten, it is Otten, right?
I believe so, but I'm not sitting in front of them.
Yeah, we got to get the names up again. So as Kevin said, Google these guys. Mm-hmm. You brought up the article in the New Hampshire Constitution shall not be for a single person, and yet that's exactly what SB 30 is supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Against the backdrop of, well, we need jobs up there. We need jobs up there. Mm-hmm. Has anybody told these chuckleheads in the legislature that are pushing this bill to give taxpayer money to this absolutely, pump and dump kind of guy, or so it seems,
you're giving one guy a job.
Yeah, but for how long? Has anybody pointed out that this would be unconstitutional and that they're going to be subject to a lawsuit if somebody really who has a few bucks to throw around actually brings suit?
I think that well, Skip, you and I have been to the legislature many times, and when did you ever go up there and make any constitutional argument that had got any traction or cut any ice whatsoever? I'm going to say never in my years that I've been there. That's just not one that goes along. It's like, let's spend somebody else's money. That one flies.
I was hoping,
Yeah.
don't burst my bubble so quickly. I can't hope for hope.
We're going to sue is slightly more effective, I think, and I would hope somebody would. I've been kind of disappointed in a lot of there have been a lot of opportunities to file suit over quite an awful lot of bills that have passed the legislature or failed to pass to correct injustices. So it depends. I think I do have a really good lawyer now, who is interested in pursuing this. and at rock bottom rates. So we'll have to talk about that later.
All right, well, that's cool. So Tuesday at 1 p.m., Reps Hall, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you know, you can bring your constitutional arguments if you want, but
bring popcorn because it'll be fun.
What was the $15 million bailout? It was a $15 million subsidy or loan guarantee for some type of travel service that the state was on the hook for, that the business went under. It wasn't even very long ago. The state gave a $15 million loan guarantee to this little travel service.
Well, that's so you can buy your own jet and get out of the country with as much of the rest of the money as you can carry, I would think.
Lovely.
I'm going to buy my own cruise liner for that.
You know, they should just give them our GGI money. I mean, we use it for everything else. Why don't they give us $28 million? Because I think if they did that for everybody, wouldn't that balance out? We would be much more effective at using that money than anybody else they could give it to, I think.
You know, for $26 million, we could get back the $26 million in federal funds that we left on the table with the last budget. I'd rather do that. At least get $26 million back.
We could promise to waste it all on loose living.
Hookers for Hillary.
We'll stimulate the economy. That would put the economy, huh?
Yeah.
We could just do the town and bar crawl, and we could use that up in a certain period of time.
I know a lot of micro businesses would be very happy for you to do a town and bar crawl too. That's really stimulating jobs.
Indeed.
Hey, Kevin, here's a quote for you as far as your remark about did you ever know of anybody up on the State House following the Constitution? This is from New Hampshire State Representative Sandra Keynes. I don't try to justify anything by the Constitution. It's not my job, and I don't want to do it. New Hampshire State Representative Deborah D. Simone, the Constitution is a guideline.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't mention okay, I haven't. Maybe I wasn't.
As it was in the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
There are some reps, and I wasn't saying that no reps follow the Constitution. I have never seen I've never heard an argument fly that a bill didn't pass or was passed because of the constitutional argument. But I do want to say that there are many very good reps that really do follow the Constitution. And I want to say I can't even think of them all, but there are. I'm thinking at least 120 or so in the House. So that's good, and I don't mean to impugn.
Oh no, I think the context in which you said it was very clear. It had to do with people using that argument in the context of a hearing, and was that influential in its outcome? I don't have any doubt that our listeners understood that, but it's always good to clarify because there's people out there who are listening who might cherry pick that comment for their own best interests, and that's how it works.
Well, like the guy that got right in Chris Christie's face yesterday?
Yeah, that was a great picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the tracker.
Yeah. If Matt Mowers read the granite grok, he would know a tricky tracker troll from American Bridge when he found one.
Have you seen the picture of Jeb Bush standing right next to Jasper?
No.
I don't know why Jasper's going and meeting all these Republican candidates. He's just... she had the picture with Marco Rubio, and the meme said, "Marco, we hardly knew ye."
Well,
I love it.
There's a thing. If anybody's got that picture of Jeb Bush next to Jasper, we can put the little rhyme from Jungle Book underneath it.
Maybe it's a Forrest Gump thing. He just shows up in these pictures with all these famous people.
I want to be like you, hoo.
And if any of Rand Paul's staff or bodyguards are listening to this, please keep Jasper away from Ron Paul. Thank you, or Rand Paul. Either one. That's just inappropriate, and let's not have that.
All right, Kevin, we're all done with you. You're done with us. You can go back to your gun show, get off your rock, and and enjoy the view you've got. Wait, what?
Just quick. Are you selling or just browsing?
I actually am buying. So yeah, I was just browsing, and I finally had to get something. So.
It's hard to browse and not buy. All right, Kevin, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. We'll see you. All right, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. We'll take a quick break, and we will close up the show.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
Rock